Hello drummers, it's Rob Litton here from drumstheword.com. Welcome to this free mini song lesson where today I'm going to show you how to play the song I Miss You by Blink-182, drummed of course by Travis Barker. I've got the PDF drum chart you can download from my page for free. You'll find a link beneath this video. So have these printed out in front of you as we go through this together. It's going to make things a lot easier for you to understand. If you want to make your own song suggestions, then please go over to my Facebook page. You'll see a post pinned to the top, and then you get to type in your song suggestions below. Others get to vote on them, and the most popular songs get chosen for future lessons, just like this one was today. And really what we got for you, or what I've got for you, is 5 different examples of this main drum beat. This is quite a tricky one for me to transcribe for you or to teach for you, basically because there's so many options that I had in front of me. What I've written here at the top here is note all 16th notes are swung throughout all examples. Fine, so we've got this 1E and a 2E and a 3, kind of a slight 16th note lilt all the way through. The tuned wood block is played as cross stick. So what I mean by that is I'm going to be using the edge of a tom or the edge of a snare drum. I've written cross stick, but what I should really say is the edge of a tom. You'll see what I mean. We'll talk about the wood block in a second, for the sake of simplicity. On the actual recording, Travis recorded the sweeping brush pattern separately. So what we got is we've got the actual recording, which involved overdubbing of sweeping action with some woodblock action, with some snare drum action. We'll talk about that in our later examples, but basically on the recorded version, pretty sure we got overdubbed examples of what's going on. Then we've got the music video, where he seems to play something else. Then we've got what Travis plays live, which I haven't included in this lesson, but he's playing some cool stuff on the edge of the bass drum. And then what I've got for you in this lesson is a combination of all those different things, plus how I would play it live at the end. It's what I think is the best sounding version of the recording. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. First example is, I've called it Simplified 1. So this is basically the simplest version of the drum beat you could play. Now, before I show you, I want to talk quickly about the sweeping action on the with brushes on the snare drum. He's on the recording definitely using a brush, and I'm not sure if he's playing it double-handed, but he's probably playing it just one-handed. Or in this case, it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, where he's just basically coming across the snare drum like this with a brush, creating this like a shaker effect, where he's naturally accenting the upbeat of the snare drum. 1 and 2 and. And of course that natural swung 16th note thing going on in there as well. So that's the first thing he's doing. Then on top of that he's playing some extra stuff. So if we really wanted to play what the drum beat sounds like, it's something like that, but of course you can't really hear. Maybe you could hear that squeaking in my microphone there. But really what we got there is a combination of one hand playing with a brush, the other hand playing with a stick, and that combination there. So throughout these examples we're not using a brush. I thought we'd play, most people haven't got a set of brushes anyway, and Travis doesn't play it live with brushes, so if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for us. So on to our first example. What we got is 1 and 2 and 3. There's no hi-hat in the song, but for the sake of simplicity, learning the drum beats, we're going to have the hi-hat play on 8th note. So this is my first example. This is how an early drummer would play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The bass drum on 1 and the and of 3. Snare drum on 2 and 4. On top of that, we've got those wood block notes happening. Now, like I said, he's using tuned wood blocks. You see in the video, music video, there's wonderful old-fashioned tuned wood blocks he's using. It might just be a standard wood block in the recording. You could also use a plastic wood block, a cowbell. It doesn't really matter. If you've got a block to your left, that'd be perfect. You'll be playing across like this. Of course, you'll be playing, as we're about to see, with those offbeat blocks. I'm going to be using this edge of the snare drum here. You could also use the edge of the high tom, or you could use the edge of the floor tom, whatever you want, or the bass drum if you can reach down between. It doesn't really matter what you use. Ideally, you want to be able to come straight down to a cross stick to play. But that makes this so much harder. It's hard to come quickly down to the cross stick to play it neatly every time. Certainly not what Travis did. So I'm just going to be hitting the edge of the snare drum like that. On an acoustic drum kit, it won't sound great, but it will get close to what Travis plays live, that's for sure. So we get this, 1 and 2 and a 3 E and. In between those hi-hat notes, 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4. If you're a relatively new drummer, beginner, intermediate, that drum beat will get you through the whole song, no problem. You know, that will work. That's hitting the main parts of the groove. So that's our first example. Let's hear that played up to speed a few times without the microphone on and without me yakking on over the top. Here we go. So the next example I've got for you are called Simplified 2, and it's basically the 2-bar pattern that Travis is really playing on the recording. We're still using the hi-hats as playing 8th notes. We're going to be moving to the snare drum in later examples, but we've got these extra ghost notes occurring on the snare drum at the end and the beginning of the bar. So the first bar is this. It's basically adding, the difference between the first example and the second example is just these extra little ghost notes at the beginning on the E of 1 and the end, the of 4. 1 E and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1. So we got 1 E and a simple ghost note, 1 E and then at the end of the bar, 4 and a 1. A drag, a double, with the left hand, but when we go into the second bar, as you just heard there, we get that E of repeating again. So we get a 1 E and. A 1 E and go from bar 1 into bar 2. A 1 E and 2. Now the end of bar 2, we don't have the drag. We just get 4 and a 1 E. 4 and just a single ghost note. But then of course we're going to loop it with the first bar and 4 and a 1 E and. So easy if I just play the example for you slowly. Let's play those 2 bars together. 1 E and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and 2 and a 3 E and 4 a 1 E and 2 and a 3 E and 4 a 1 E and 2. So that's getting closer to the actual recording version. Obviously, like I said earlier on, we don't hear the hi-hats in the recording, but that's getting closer to what we're actually hearing. So let me now play those 2 bars for you up to speed a few times. So in the third example, I just wanted to address the fact that we do get these upbeat accents on the and of each beat. 1 and 2 and. That's coming from the sweeping pattern on with the brushes on the snare drum. So we're going to play exactly the same as the second simplified version, but I'm going to accent the upbeats on the hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You could just play 1 and 2. Perhaps I'll play that for you as well in a second. But I'm going to be playing 1 and 2 and 3. So I'm still playing the downbeat, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and, but we're having that accent on the and. So with what we just previously played on the snare drum, cross stick and bass drum, we get 1 E and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and 2. Play that slower for you and not make that mistake. 1 E and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and 2 and a 3 E and don't forget the bass drum as well. you can see there we're starting to hear that upbeat. Idea there going on the hi-hat. So let me play those 2 bars for you properly. Here we go. So this next example I've called the music video, and this is what Travis is playing, or what he seems to be playing in the music video. I thought that just for interest, just for a little bit of, make this drum lesson a bit different, I'd show you what Travis seems to be miming in the music video. This is not what we hear on the recording, that's quite different. But I've written here, Travis is playing an optional hi-hat foot on the downbeats. So I might include that in a second, where he's also playing the hi-hat on 1, 2, 3, 4. His right hand is playing with a brush, and he's playing on the snare drum on the ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The left hand and the bass drum are doing exactly what we've been doing previously in previous examples. We're just leaving out the right hands on the downbeats, it's just playing the ands. So it looks a bit complicated on the page, but really when you work out what your hands are doing, it's not that bad. So let me play it slowly for you. I might make a few mistakes here because playing it slowly really sort of shows your inadequacies with the timing and with the orchestration. So here we go. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4. Mr. Bass drum there. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4. So as I speed up, notice the right hand. That's what he seems to be playing on the video. On top of that, he's also playing. No, that's the upbeat. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3, which I must admit doesn't sound very nice. We're sort of really missing that upbeat, aren't we? I'll show you what I mean by playing it without the microphone on. So let me now play for you those 2 bars up to speed. So then finally, what I've got for you is what I've called the best sounding combination of all the different ideas we talked about already. And this is as close to playing what you hear on the recording without using brushes. So it's taking exactly what we've been talking about previously with the ghost notes, with the cross stick, etc. We're just now playing the right hand on the snare drum. We're leaving out the right hand on the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. So we're letting that snare drum ring out nicely on its own as accents. You can see I've written accents above on beats 2 and beats 4. The of 2 and the E of 3 accents are the cross stick thing. And then finally, we're also going to play the hi-hat foot on the upbeats, on the ands. And that's going to help us emphasize that upbeat feeling. And in combination, we get something that sounds pretty similar to the recording. So without the hi-hat foot for now, we're going to play 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E. I missed the bass drum. Do it again. Okay, here we go. I'll start again. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4. And I'm sort of naturally, just so you notice, I'm sort of naturally playing the upbeat with my right hand anyway. Let's put in the hi-hat foot as well, and you can hear the whole combination. Whoops. I'm going to keep all these mistakes in for you, because you will probably find the same things happening to you. your right hand's playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And if you want to sort of go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, as I sort of was doing now, I think a little bit, then it's going to help it to sound even more like the recording where we're, again, emphasising that upbeat on the and. So finally, let's hear that combination played up to speed. So hopefully you found this drum lesson useful. I've given you all those different examples, the music video, the simplified versions, the best combination. I've also talked about what you actually hear on the recording. And so it's really up to you as to what you take away from this lesson, how you'd like to play it, what sort of level you're at as a drummer will depend on what version you can play. Don't forget, again, you can download the free PDF from my website. The link is beneath this video. And then while you're at my website, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. And what I currently offer for £97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. And that's over 600 full video song lessons where I teach you a song from start to finish. You get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart with every single song. And I've got a load of Blink 182 drum lessons up on the website already. So if you're a Travis Barker fan, there's loads of lessons up on the website for you to get your teeth stuck into. As a thank you for signing up, I give you hundreds of little videos teaching you many famous drum beats, fills and even drum solos. I give you 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds more famous drum beats, fills and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So you've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstotheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.